Hey guys, in this video I want to introduce the Precinct app to you. It's an app in Giraffe and it sits in the top right hand side in terms of UI. And like all apps in Giraffe, it's a module that does something specific. So the default apps within Giraffe, the Urban tab, which does various urban areas, the Analytics app, which allows you to specify your own calculations, the Solar app, which does solar analysis, all of which are useful, but not all of which are going to be used on every single project. And that's why we've chosen to break them out as modules. And the app that I want to add today is called the Precinct app. And what it does is it reports areas by precinct, as in by geometric or geographic area, rather than by usage, which is how the Urban tab works. Of course, you can return by building with the Urban tab. Remembering you've got to add a building ID parameter to the lowest section, the section closest to the ground, in order to see that building ID. Otherwise, you get Giraffe's auto-generated hashed ID, which is it's useful, but it's not pretty. Okay, so the Precinct app is going to report the areas by this geometric area, so polygon, and so we need to provide it some polygons, and that's kind of easy. All you need to do is draw the polygons, and there's a special property that each polygon needs, which is lot number, and I normally add a color as well because that is very useful in distinguishing these lots from one another. So there's a lot with a lot number, or a precinct with a lot number, and what we need to do is separate the parcel geometry or the lot geometry from the built form using layers. So I'm going to add a new drawing layer called lots. I'm going to create that, and then I'm just going to pop this geometry that I've created that represents the lots on the lots layer. I'll turn the default layer off and I'll just activate the lots layer. Now I'm just going to copy and paste that guy, and one more time, and I'm going to set this lot to lot 2 and change its color to purple, and I'm going to change this to lot 3 and change its color to like a pink. All right, so now I've got these 3 lots spread out across my site. Just turning default on just to make sure that the lots are sort of covering my design in the way I expected. Okay, so all of that built form is on lot 3, this built form is on lot 2, and that built form is on lot 1. So I'm happy with that. Now what I normally do is I fade the lots layer back and I lock it. So I don't need to select it, right? So it's easy to edit, but you can see that lot layer in there. And with that, we've got enough information in the project now to run the precinct app. So we're going to add a new scenario. The geometry layer is the layer of geometry you want to analyze, which is for us default, and the lots layer is lots. And boom, we get this analysis. So the first thing that happens is the lots numbers and their colors are returned here. So that's part of the reason why I colored those lots. As you can see, if I click on that, it highlights the relevant lot. The lot area is reported, and then all the areas of the building sections on each lot are reported, and they're grouped. So if I take, this is lot 1 over here. If I take this big commercial lump, which is 7,236, and I drag it over to lot 3, you'll see it's now that 7,236 has moved from lot 1 to lot 3, and to lot 2, and back to lot 1. So what the Precinct app is doing is organizing this thing spatially and by usage, and it also includes the landscape, which is very useful. Okay, it reports the open space ratio and the total areas, as well as the FSR. All right, but what's even more powerful than this is you can combine this area breakdown with a scenario breakdown. So let's say we had a scenario 2. And so instead of the default layer, I'm going to select everything on the default layer. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to make sure scenario 2 is active. Turn off the default. I'm going to paste. And now let's just change this scenario up. So let's say we shrink that down and grow this landscape. Shrink that guy down and grow this commercial. Maybe we get 2 levels of retail that also grows out. All right, so now we've sort of got a very clear hierarchy of parcels. Make this even more significant. And you can see as I'm changing this, nothing's changed over here because I'm not working on the default layer. I'm working on layer 2, on layer called scenario 2. So I can add a new scenario, and I'm going to select scenario 2 as the geometry layer, and I'm going to select lots as the parcel layer, because in my scenarios I'm not testing out different kind of sub-precincts. Of course I could. I don't need to use lots as the lots layer. I could have lots 2, lots 3, and it would cut it differently. But you can see now I've got a total of sort of 26,000 square meters on lot 1 in this scenario versus 9,000 in scenario 1. So I'll call this scenario 2, and I'll call this default scenario, and just open that up. And that's how you use the Precinct app. So it's like a module. When this makes sense, you use it. It normally makes sense for reporting sub-FSRs, exactly like this, or for staging. So if you're going to stage a project out by, say, land release area, this is a really cool way of doing that. And of course, you can export it to a CSV spreadsheet, as well as pop it into a new window to see everything all at once.